Well, it seems like we've waited enough time to talk about that very, very spoilery Wakanda Forever post-credit scene. Recently, the star of the film, Letitia Wright, talked quite a bit about the emotional post-credit scene, sharing the impact it had on her, and what it was like to work with that particular cast member that was added to the franchise. If you haven't seen it, this is a spoiler. You've been warned. Now, if you've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you know the film opens with T'Challa's funeral, but it ends with quite the revelation. Now, again, this is a spoiler, but in the film we find out that Nakia has a son whose Wakanda name is T'Challa. That's right, T'Challa lives in the MCU and at this point is a very young boy. Now, the post-credit scene was very emotional, and in the scene he actually met his Aunt Shuri, and this is where he was fully introduced to the MCU as the young T'Challa. Now, everybody is expecting this young man will eventually inherit his father's mantle, but obviously that could be 10 or 15 years from now. Considering Kang the Conqueror is the villain for the next 2 Avengers movies, it's not really too hard to imagine a situation where time travel or time dilation is involved, and we see the character aged up rather quickly. Now, obviously, adding this character to the movie was pretty difficult for the actors considering the impact of Chadwick Boseman's death. And Shuri actress Letitia Wright recently was talking to John Boyega during an interview with Variety, and she talked about filming that scene and how important it was. She also revealed a very interesting detail from the previous version of the movie. So let's check it out. The post-credit scene for me is an extension of the ways in which we wanted to honor Chadwick, especially the role of T'Challa. In the movie that Chadwick was written into before he passed, there is a journey of a father and son. When reading it, I could sense we had to find a way to continue the legacy of what T'Challa means to the world, especially to young black men. That scene messed me up. Like I said, I bet this was a very difficult scene to film. Obviously, Boseman had a huge impact on everybody around him, and I have to think filming this required more self-control than acting. I honestly believe a lot of those tears were real. Now for me, it is super interesting that the original plans for the Black Panther sequel call for T'Challa to explore his relationship with his son. This means that this was already in play and probably was something they were thinking about almost immediately. Now, T'Challa was one of the characters who was snapped out of existence from Thanos, so he would have missed the first 5 years of the boy's life, making for quite the interesting story and the moral conundrum for the character trying to make things right and fix that relationship with his son. I really would love to see what this version of the movie would look like. Boseman's death was absolutely tragic, and he was a hero in real life, facing his cancer on his own and not really letting very many people outside of his family know what he was dealing with. Now, how long before we see this version of T'Challa aged up and become the Black Panther again? We're going to have to wait and see. I suspect we'll have him suited up probably in Secret Wars. I don't know this for sure yet, but it would make a lot of sense. And after Secret Wars, I'm sure the whole MCU will look quite different, sort of a soft reboot, and I'm pretty sure T'Challa will be the man behind the mask when that day arrives. Now, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is still playing in theaters. You probably have a couple more weeks to catch it before it takes off. It's still doing really good. It actually crossed $400 million domestic this week, which is a major milestone, and I suspect we should finish up somewhere close to 900. Hopefully it gets a little bump and crosses $1 billion, but I'm not thinking that's going to happen anymore. Now, obviously, we're covering everything Wakanda on this channel, so make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and ring the bell for all the updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? How emotional do you think filming this post-credit scene with the young T'Challa was for the cast and crew? And how long before you think they age up T'Challa and we see this version of the Black Panther finally suit up? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.